In this video, we're going to look at my Balsamiq. Now, FTC has an account with Balsamiq, and we're able to actually send then invitations out to students so that you can work with it. All right, so now it's a free account, and you will be getting an email to your FTC email, student email account. Now, if for some reason you don't get it or you can't access it, please reach out to your instructor so that they can make other arrangements for you. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and log into my Balsamiq and just show you from my end what it looks like. So these are all the different courses over the years that we've used it, and actually there's been a lot more than just this. I've had to delete some because we've had too many. So I'm just going to go ahead and open one that doesn't have a lot in it. So let's look at this one. Okay, so when you go in, you're going to see, now your version may look a little different, but what we're going to do is it'll look something like this, okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to say add new mockup. Okay, so we're going to click add new mockup, and what happens is you're going to let it say allow flash, which is true. And it loads in. And what is really nice is that this software, it gives you, essentially you could do this in any drawing program. So that would be like Adobe Illustrator, Corel Draw. I suppose you could do it in Paint. I suppose you could do it in Microsoft Word with the tools that they have in there, or PowerPoint, whatever can draw shapes, okay? So let's go ahead and look at an anatomy of a website. So the reason why we do this is we want to make sure that we do our planning, okay? It's so often students want to rush and go to the fun part, which is actually putting all of it together. But unfortunately, you've got to plan it out. And the thing is that you want to be able to do this sort of pre-production or research and development so that you don't waste time developing something that your client doesn't want. So what you want to do is create it here first, sort of a mock-up, show your client, get approval, and then go to the actual process of putting it all together. So what Balsamiq has made, and people use it for all different things, as you see from the discussion question. So the app developers use this, and other people use this for other reasons. But we're going to use it for web. So the first thing we would want to do, what you need to do is play around with it, essentially, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to create a browser window, okay? So because we're making a website. Now, I could put in here something, but I'm not going to. So I'm going to click here, and I'm going to resize it because my browser windows. And you can actually, you can do 1024 by 768. I'm going to just leave it at that. So we're going to make it look like it's a web browser. Now, I could put up here, if I double click, I could put in here www.ftccollege.edu, right? Press enter, and let's click away and see there it shows you where it is. I think that's pretty cool. It's lame, but it's pretty cool. All right, so the anatomy of a website. Anatomy of a website is there are certain specific things that you have. You have essentially a wrapper, and that's where all the content is contained in. So we have to look for something that would create this. So we have to look at maybe containers. And again, I'll just do a rectangular tool. And my website, so you have to click and drag it in here. Guys, it really is just, if you're computer savvy, you should be able to just sort of sit and play with software. Okay, so I'm going to draw this like this, because what's going to happen is this is going to be an image left and right in this background area. And actually, all the content is going to be right here, what we call the wrapper. All right, so now in the wrapper is going to be, we have a couple of things. We could do a tabbed system. We like that. But again, you would just have to look at some of these things. We have vertical tabs, we have accordion, we have just a regular navigation. But the first thing I want is a header. Every site has a header, and that's usually where sometimes the navigation is in there. So let's see. I may just go ahead and do a container again and use the rectangular tool. And this is going to be the top. This is where my logo is going to be, and I'm going to put my navigation up here, I think too. So this is where the logo would go. So I'm going to just denote my logo by, I didn't want to do that, did I? Yeah, I want to drag that. So this is my logo. Yeah, we'll say logo. And then what would be here would be text. Let's see, where is text? There's text. So I want, so you just have to look through this and see what you want. A subtitle, a big title. I want a big title. So I'm going to sit here and drag this in here because that is the name of my website. And so I can put in here, okay, FTC College, and click away. All right, so that would be the FTC logo, that would be the title for the school, and we can go here. So that's the header. The header has logo, sometimes the navigation in it, but instead I'm going to put the navigation underneath it. And let's see, nav, got to look for it. Well, there's buttons, so buttons would be close to navigation, but I don't want, I could have an accordion, and some of the stuff that we have is accordion, right? If you look at the FTC, that's a button. I could make individual buttons. Let's see what's common. So again, it's just a matter of looking through and seeing what little elements you have available. I thought okay, so there's a vertical tab, there's that tab. Well, we can have a tab system. Yeah, that's fine. Why not? So we're going to do a tab system, and we're going to drag it out. We're going to leave the tab system right there so that people can, and you can then change, you can change what the name is here. Okay, so there's certain things that you can change. I'll leave a tab system there. It depends on the site. You'd have to research and look at this. So I'm going to just also create regular buttons. So I'm going to have a button here, and I'm going to drag another button here, and I can name all these buttons, but right now I'm just showing you. So this would be navigation, okay? Now, there's certain elements that are always going to be the same on every website, and that will be your header, those will be your navigation. So these buttons that I'm creating, that's part of my navigation, and they're going to be constant on my website, okay? Now, the other thing I want to do is I'm going to open this up a little bit. Yeah, do that so that, and then I'm going to put a footer down here. Now the footer would have sort of like, I'm going to do another container. The footer would be, again, a rectangular tool. Footer is where you have like your copyright. You could have an additional navigation bar. If you look at websites, see, you really need to be paying attention to what's you see. Okay, so go look at some of your favorite websites, see how they're laid out, and then sort of try to draw it and duplicate it. Okay, I'm going to put some text underneath here. So I want a text area. I don't want a list, do I? Oh, there's a menu. I want to create a container. Okay, another container. We'll just create a. I'm going to create another. Well, I moved it in the wrong place. So this is going to go here, and we're going to drag it over. And I'm going to drag it down. And the thing about it is, always look for a grid system. People want to see, and my buttons, I want to move them over a little bit. I'm going to move it up there, and there. And I got to, okay, so I'm spacing them out so they're even and they're over this. So we look for a grid system. The eye wants to see order, okay? So we look for a grid system. And because I have some, and I could put another little area down here, but remember, people don't like a wide content of text. That's why we use columns, okay? So that's why we break up things. So this would be the rules of 2/3, where we make something 2/3 and then the other thing is 1/3, okay? So this would work well. So I'm just going to drag this down so that it goes to the bottom. And I'm also going to drag this down. And we're going to put an image. And this is just a file system. And what we're going to do is we're going to put something that will be an image. Let me look at layout. No, all. And again, they have so many different tools in here. I'm going to need some text, but I want to also look at, they even have a carousel. See, and you can even do an iPhone and an iPad also. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Oh, FTC is going away. See, we can put a street map. We can do all this stuff in here. All right, well, this is an icon for an image. I'm going to pull that in here, and I'm going to put an image right there. So that if you see an X through it, that denotes that it's an image, all right? So we're going to put an image here. I'm going to put it right over here, and then I'm going to put some text below here. So we're going to just put some text. And we're going to put a block of text, and that's going to go right here. And I'm going to make it go, okay, so that's text. Now, if I wanted to actually put, and I want to make sure it's centered in here, okay, so you always have to have something called padding. You don't want things up against the edge of something because that's bad. The eye can't see it. So let's double click this image for a second. And we can sit here and we can actually, if you have images, you can put them in here, okay? So we have the FTC logo. Let's open it, okay? And say attach. And let's see, did it attach it? Nope, not yet. Load. All right, now it's stretched. It doesn't look good, but we can pull it out and make it look good. So there we go. So we can pull images in. So if you double click an area, it gives you other abilities to do things. Okay, so the image, you can pull in your own images. All right, well, so see there I have it. I have a logo. Now I would put like copyright down here. So this would be small text. Let's see, do I have anything that's small? Doesn't look like it. It looks like everything's big. There's a link navigation. So really, I could put this at the bottom because remember, that's a secondary navigation. A lot of times you'll see that, right? There's the navigation. That's fine. And then you can change it. Let's click away. And then I would put like me copyright or something. Oh, and I could have put an icon. See, there's different things in here. So icon name, that would be for a logo. But that's okay. Breadcrumbs, drag and drop, click to add. Okay, so see, and we have a little site here already. So we have a site together, and it just didn't. So what I would say is play around with it. Play around with it and see what it's about. Okay, so go ahead and make something, play with it, and this should give you a better idea. You shouldn't be afraid to explore. That's the whole thing, because we're in this field, you need to learn, and it's constant learning, and you have to constantly challenge yourself, okay? It's not that hard. Play around, move it around, but start looking at other websites. Look at the layout, see what, try to see what the structure is, and start thinking about that, okay? All right, guys, that pretty much sums it up. And we'll keep moving forward on this process. All right.